Hello everybody, hope you're all well. The other day I went to the store, got some palmiers and really enjoyed it, and I thought, why not I make it at home? And so here I'm going to show you how to make palmiers, and this is a puff pastry which I'm going to make it out of flour, heaps of sugar and unsalted butter, which is quite simple but time consuming as well. Let's just straight away jump into it. Come on in. So I'm going to just take 4 ingredients, which is the plain flour or all-purpose flour, unsalted butter, caster sugar, and some salt. And this is it, just 4 ingredients and super tasty palmiers. So to 325 grams plain flour or all-purpose flour, adding half a teaspoon of salt, I have taken 250 grams unsalted butter. Do not take salted butter because it is going to make the palmiers salty. So what I did the previous night was I just took the block of butter and cubed them and made them into small cubes like so and popped it into the fridge. So to 325 grams of plain flour, add in the cubed unsalted butter, and now gotta get my hands dirty because I'm going to mix it up with my hands. And the reason I popped this butter in the cubed butter into the fridge, that I need to have the butter really cold, else I'm not going to get those flaky results. Right now I'm not going to squish the butter into the flour, and I'm making sure that the butter is still cold. That is the reason I popped the cubed butter into the fridge overnight. Make sure you coat all the butter cubes with the flour, like so. Look at that. And so just mix gently. Do not squish it right now. And then taking all the cubes of the butter, just gently squish it. So I'm going to do this for all the cubes. And I'm doing this step to make sure that the flour is coated in the butter really nice and well, and that it brings out the flaky results, which it tastes super nice. So I'm enjoying squishing this butter. It's just soft, nice but firm. Make sure that the butter is firm, and I don't want the butter to go warm at all. Now I have squished all the cubes of the butter like so, and now they are of irregular shapes. Now again, you gotta toss them gently in the dry flour. Make sure it is coated really well. I don't want the butter to go cold, else I wouldn't get proper results. So again, I'm going to take these tossed butter one by one. I'm going to break them up like so into 2 halves. Just those irregular shapes it do. And I'm enjoying doing this because this is going to give a very good result. And I'm excited. Now I've broken them into irregular shapes. After breaking them, toss it again gently in the dry flour, and I can feel that the flour and the butter is cold. It's like a fun play. Next, make a well in the middle, like so. And I'm going to add some really cold water. You could also add ice cubes if it is not cold enough. 4, 5, and then give it a mix. The reason I don't want to add more water right now is that I don't want it to go mushy, and it's coming a bit together, as you can see here. Add a bit more teaspoons of cold water, 6 and 7, and a gentle mix. If the butter is not cold enough, the dough is going to come all together mushy and you wouldn't get proper results. It should mess up and you won't get the flakiness. And pop this on to the surface. Give it a gentle mix. Do not squish it much. It's still way too dry. Gonna add a bit of cold water, one more spoon, and give it a gentle mix. If you notice it here, I'm not squishing the butter to ensure that it is still cold. There, it's coming up together nice and well. And there you can see it is sticking onto my palm, but it is not too sticky. A little bit sticky. So make them, do not press it hard. Be soft on it and be gentle. I'm just making a rough ball there. Dust in some flour. Just rub it off. This is a bit time consuming, so you need to have a bit of patience, but it pays off. You get the best results. So I've made it into a rough ball there, as you can see. Now let me wash my hands off. Get the cling film ready. So I could pop it onto it. Take it. And there it goes. Wrap it tightly. And this goes inside the fridge for, you could keep it overnight or you could keep it for 2 hours minimum so it gets firm. And now, in these 2 hours, if you have anything to do, please do it. I've taken it off the fridge and let it cool for 4 hours. As I said before, you could let it cool for a minimum of 2 hours. So it is nice and firm. Let me dust some flour onto the surface so it doesn't stick on. As you can see here, it is cracked a bit on the sides, and which means it is properly nice and firm. And pop it there. It's quite hard. You need to give it a nice press. So I'm just trying to flatten it a bit, not too thin though, because I'm going to fold it into a square shape. So flip it the other side. And roll it up. It is still firm, and that is how it has to be for the palmiers to come up nice and flaky. Getting the sides together. Never mind if it's irregular in the first attempt, because there's going to be 3 or 4 other folds that I'm going to do. So, very sure that I will get good results, the best results in fact. Because I want it in a square shape after I fold it. I'm just trying to roughly make a square shape, not as perfect as I want as of now. Later on I can trim the sides so it doesn't look awkward when I fold it. Yeah, and now fold it gently, and the other fold goes in there like that. I'm getting the cling film ready. Pop in the folded dough and cover it up nice and tight. There it goes. And now I'm going to pop it in the fridge for another half hour. Alright, now I got it off the fridge after half hour. Unwrap that cling film. And now I'm going to dust some flour so it doesn't stick on. And some on top. Now I'm going to roll it into a rectangle shape. In this roll, it's not as hard as in the first roll. As you can see, it's a bit softer. Make this into a rectangle shape. Just evening up the rough sides a bit. Not too much. I'm not making this into a proper line as of now. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm going to fold it for 4 times and roll it for 5 times. It's quite simple, but it needs a lot of patience. Just the time. And now I rolled it into a rectangle shape. Now fold it into thirds there. And fold it over. Just dusting off the dry flour off the roll. You can see how soft it has become. Pop it onto it and wrap it with a cling film. And now it goes inside the fridge. I'm going to pop it into the fridge for a half hour and then roll it again. Make sure you at least give half hour between each fold and rolls. Into the fridge now. And there, after say roughly 45 minutes, I got it from the fridge, nice and firm. And it's quite cold, which is what makes the dough firm. So let me get it out. Dusting in some flour to make sure it doesn't stick on, and dust it on top as well, not too much. And the pin, I'm gonna roll it. As you can see, it's not as hard as the previous ones. I'm making this as well into a rectangular shape. Making it into a rough straight line. As of now, in this third fold as well, I'm not too much worried about how straight it is, but just that rough one. All right, and let me fold it from the back. First fold, press it down so it is intact, and the second fold, press it down. And now I'm gonna pop it in the same cling film which I used. Isn't this interesting? I love it. Cover it up. Can you see the shape that it's coming up? And now again, I'm going to pop it in the fridge for another half hour, minimum of half hour. And see you in the next fold and roll. Got this after 45 minutes in the fridge. It is nice and cold. Sprinkle some dry flour on the surface and pop that in. Now I'm making it into a nice rectangle shape. I've got some caster sugar. Do not use, I would recommend not to use granulated sugar. Caster sugar is ideal. You got to add in heaps of caster sugar. Please do be generous and roll it. The reason I'm adding caster sugar is that when I bake it in the oven, it's going to caramelize nice and well, and you get that nice texture, and just nice and crispy, which gives that taste. Where there is no sugar, there is no trigger. And then flip it the other side. So caster sugar goes onto the other side as well. I'm adding in loads of sugar so it gives that taste. And roll it. If it is granulated sugar, it will stick on well, as in like the castor sugar. And then I'm going to take a sharp knife, trying to make a straight line. If it is too much curvy, I would have cut it, but it's already kind of straight lines, so it doesn't need any trimming off as of now that I can see. And maybe in the next stage I can see if I can trim it a little bit. All right, now take the third from the bottom and fold it like so. Press it down and the other side. Flip onto it and give it a nice fold. It's coming up really nice. I can see that. Look at the folds there. I'm going to pop it in the cling film again. Place it like so. Now I'm going to pop it in the fridge for 20 minutes so it gets a little bit firm. I'm not going to leave it more than 20 minutes because I don't want it to get moistened up more. So there it goes. Take it out after 20 minutes and just dusting some castor sugar, and gotta roll it into a rectangle again. As you can see, it has become fairly soft, but not too soft. It's fairly soft but firm. Flip it the other side. You gotta be generous again. Only then it gives a very good taste. The reason I'm not adding sugar to the flour is because I don't want to get it moist, and that is the reason we add it to at the end of the rolling stage, because you don't want to make it soggy, but you want to have the dough firm. It's coming up nice. Wow. Flip it the other side, dust in the castor sugar. Make sure you cover it up all and roll it. In the next step, I'm going to find the midline. So just fold it and make a small impression there, so you know the center. There it goes. I'm just trimming the sides off so it comes nice and well. I ain't going to waste this, but gonna use it for baking as well. Okay, now I'm going to do two folds on this side and 2 folds on the opposite side. So fold it evenly. There, one fold, and sprinkle some castor sugar so it's evenly coated. and here onto the other side. Make sure you don't go up until that, because you want some gap in the middle, kind of a canal. You'd know the reason why I do that. And fold it there. Sprinkle some caster sugar. And fold it again. Now, I'm going to fold it over that. And that is the reason we left a bit of gap there. And give it a little press so it's nice and firm. Now look at the folds there. Don't you think it is nice? And I'm again going to wrap this up in the cling film and pop it in the fridge, maybe for 10 minutes. The reason I'm going to pop it in the fridge is that I'm going to preheat my oven at 200 degrees Celsius for 10 to 15 minutes and then pop this over after slicing it. So in the meantime, do not leave it outside. So this one goes into the fridge again. So after 10 minutes, I'm just taking it off the fridge, and here comes the fun part. And now this side is a bit neat. This side I need to trim it off, which I do toward the end. It's ready to be cut. Let me cut that. All right. There it goes. And I'm just cutting them roughly into 1 centimeter thick. And before adding sugar, you could use this pastry for preparing pie. You could also prepare this pastry in batches and pop it in the fridge and use it as and when you need it. You could also get the pastry from shop if you don't find time to prepare this. So it's your preference. Now I'm going to gently place it on the baking tray. Just placed it with a parchment paper, and I'm going to make a little gap because when it bakes it'll puff up. So make that little gap, not too much, and then you get the heart shaped. Nice little heart shape to get that. This recipe is quite simple and quite interesting. Because I have a smaller tray, it accommodates only 6 per batch. So the rest of it, I would pop it in the fridge. Once this gets ready, the next batch would go in. So, nice and ready. As you can see, those layers, and these layers will come up nice and flaky, which will be super tasty and super crunchy. I'll show it when it is done. Now it goes into the oven. Just slide the tray into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to leave it for 10 minutes and then check it and then we'll flip it over. You would see the nice caramelized sugar on the top, which is glazy. I'm so excited. Using the palette, I'm gonna flip it over and see at first to see. Just check if it is caramelized. So after 15 minutes, I'm just taking it there and gonna flip it over and see. Yeah, it is caramelized. It started caramelizing. So yeah, can you see that? It is properly caramelized there. So which means it's time to flip it over. I'm going to pop it in the oven again. Just to make a note here, the timing differs from oven to oven. Certain ovens take just 10 minutes. Some of them take even 15 to 18 minutes. So you need to have an eye on it. In goes. Slide it, and 7 to 10 minutes would do. Wow! Now the perfectly shaped palmiers are ready, as you can see here. I'm so happy. Look at the perfectly shaped heart shape. Initially it was V-shaped and then it puffed up into a heart shaped. Look at that. It looks so glazy. Wow, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. And let me pop it into the plate now. Ooh. I have stacked them all in a bowl. There it is. Are you guys impressed with this? I am. I'm sure you're impressed with it as well, and I'm sure you baked with me as well. So now let me taste it and see as to how it is. There it goes. I'm gonna snap and it's gonna easily snap off. Look at that. And amazing, guys. Believe me, you can hear the crunch. It's so crunchy, buttery, flaky, and superb in taste. And I'm so happy about the results. Hope you enjoyed this video as well, and hope you enjoyed baking along with me. If you like this video and this recipe, make sure you share your comments below, and do not forget to subscribe if you haven't so far. Thanks and have a nice day. Bye.